Hello, this is our policies and procedures against kickbacks presentation. Our team members are myself, Parker Entz, Mariah Nolly, and Tristan Gardner. The topic we chose for our research was kickbacks in business, more specifically how businesses handle kickbacks and what policies and procedures were in place to prevent them. For those who don't know what a kickback is, it is practically a bribe but under the table. This topic relates to ethics in business writing because our topic of research that we chose is about kickbacks and what policies and procedures businesses take to eliminate this illegal practice. Kickbacks are entirely unethical due to the simple fact that they are illegal in most countries, but also because of the frequency in which they occur. Something that I would say that surprised me was that in other countries, bribes are part of the business world that they live in. Almost everyone uses bribes to grow their business. Mariah, a member of our group, said, "I was surprised by the amount of people who were in the international trade that were willing to condone the use of bribes or kickbacks in one way or another." Tristan, another member of our group, said, "It is surprising to me how frequent kickbacks take place. It is interesting that kickbacks continue to take place even though they are illegal." We collected data from a few sources. Those sources include one in-person interview and a few scholarly articles. I, Parker, did the in-person interview with a local business owner and collected 4 scholarly articles for this project. Mariah also looked into laws used by the US to prevent kickbacks and bribery from happening in the country. These are the steps that I, Parker, took to get an interview. First, I found a local business that I considered successful. I then asked the local business owner if I could interview them for a school project and ask about kickbacks and things they do to prevent them. I then created questions and got those questions approved by Chalice, and then interviewed the business owner and asked those said questions to the interviewee. Lastly, I collected and organized the data that was collected from the interview, then put that information into a shared document so everyone in the group could see my findings. These are the steps that I, Parker, took to find articles to use on this report. First, using Google Scholar and DSU's database, I searched to find trusted sources that I could use. I then searched those databases with keywords to find articles that fit our question and research items. I skimmed through those articles that included those keywords. I then found articles that went well with our report and read those articles entirely. Lastly, I organized the data and I found on those articles and shared the information on our group's shared document. Mariah's steps she used to find information were she researched the laws and judicial codes in the US against kickbacks. She then organized the laws and inputted them into the shared document. Being more specific on this question, the interview showed how businesses close to home handle kickbacks and what was something we could relate to. And that was something we could relate to as a group versus policies in place for massive corporations and overseas businesses. Comparing the two with articles that showed that they were quite similar, but the interview showed to have more personable answers rather than broad answers. Next, Tristan will talk to us about his writing process.
All right, so as far as the writing process goes, these are the sections of the report and who they were written by. So for the executive summary, that was written by myself, Tristan. The introduction was written by Mariah and myself. For research methods and interview participants, the literature review was done by Mariah. The local business owner interview was done by Parker. For results and recommendations, the literature review was again done by Mariah. The interview participants were Parker. Recommendations were done by Mariah. And the conclusion was done by myself. As far as who wrote the report, we all worked together on writing the report and giving input to each other on changes that needed to be made. Adjustments were then made to the report, and then input was provided from all team members, and additional adjustments were made. For making our writing sound seamless, each member of our team pitched in portions of work to come up with the end result. We ran into the problem of exceeding the word count and in trimming to the proper word count, it helped in making the wording sound seamless. This also helped each of our paragraphs blend together and sound better as a whole. We all worked together on the main sections of the report. We then had suggestions for one another for each of those sections. As far as limitations go, interviews are a great way of gathering important inside information on the topic of kickbacks and bribery that take place in business. Getting different perspectives from a variety of professions was a limitation that our group ran into. Our group ran into the limitation of only being able to interview one local business owner. This was an unfortunate limitation as we had hoped to get 2 or 3 interviews set up. But the fact that kickbacks are illegal makes it very tough to find people willing to share information on the topic. In our case, the business owner preferred to stay anonymous, likely due to this fact. Though we had limitations, we were able to work with the resources that we did have, and it was not an issue. Mariah is now going to talk to you guys about future recommendations.
So what would we do differently? Our recommendations for anyone, even ourselves, who would like to research this topic in the future would be to put in as much time as possible in finding more people to interview. The kind of notes and information gained from an in-person interview can be more valuable than that of articles when follow-up questions are needed. Being able to ask specific questions enables you to have direct conversations about your topic instead of trying to discern answers to your questions from articles. Notes are very important. Since large international corporations are typically out of reach and hard to grasp the scope of their influence, we recommend connecting with local businesses you know, these businesses whose influence actively can affect your daily lives. Another potential addition to this research would be to contact companies and ask for their copy of a written anti-kickback policies. This would give us more information on actual policy making, our recommendations for improvement more focused. Advice for future students. The advice our group would like to impart on future students would be to start early and don't procrastinate. Make sure you pick a topic that really interests you. It's harder to be motivated by something you are only mildly interested in. When working on your proposal, look around to see if the articles you are finding are some of many and not the only ones related to your topic. A problem that our group came across was exceeding the maximum word count, which was a good problem to have. We recommend getting all research done early and then working to get plenty of information down on the report to focus on keeping only relevant information. Don't overthink these reports. They are not research papers that have to be 100% factual. They are opinions and recommendations. Thank you for taking your time to listen to our presentation.